the Bohemian movement first appeared in the mid-19th century. Characterized by community living, frugality, and anti-establishment values, the movement flourished in major European cities. Of the cities that adopted this culture, Paris was the one that embraced it most heavily. The Latin Quarter, a neighborhood in Paris known for its affordable rent prices, attracted a variety of artists, musicians, and writers who began to reside in the area, creating a distinct sense of place for Bohemians in the city. Bohemianism arrived in London from Paris. Its artists populated neighborhoods such as Soho, Fitzrovia, and Notting Hill. However, its sense of place was never as strong as that of Paris. This ultimately led to the decline of the movement, starting as early as the 1920s, due to London's lack of any such equivalent to the Latin Quarter. The influx of American forms of entertainment, brought about by the rise of mass media and globalized travel, further contributed to the decline of London's bohemian lifestyle.
Okay. Hello, I am Marco. I'm a third-year film student in Queen Mary's. But on the side, I also draw, illustrate, and play music. I typically focus more on illustrations to do with characters or faces and the general form of the human body. I think I find that quite relaxing in between my studies and work and everything. It's more of an escape.
I'm Jay, I'm a film student at Queen Mary. I basically do everything. I paint and draw and write and sculpt and sew and I make clothes. And why? Because it's fun, because I don't have to, there's no expectations with it. I can just make art and it's just for me. I feel like it's just fun to have a craft that you can work at and there's no end in sight, you know, like I'm not like working towards any kind of career venture with it or any kind of like exhibition or like big like masterpiece. It's kind of just a pastime, it's just a hobby.
I'm Will, I play guitar in Brides.
I'm Elis, I'm the bassist in Brides and I also do sound in live venues.
I liked the Beatles a lot when I was growing up. Started learning their songs on guitar and then I pretty much just went from there.
For me it was, I also don't remember, I'm pretty sure like The Sound of Music, the movie, was
Classic. It's a good movie.
was the culprit. I played it like 3 times a day in full.
Yeah.
As when I was like a kid, and then I just got obsessed with Spice Girls and Britney Spears and that. It was great.
I definitely think having a space of artists and more people interested in art and kind of talking about it and maybe sharing ideas is one of the best things that you can do as an artist. You are talking to so many artists and people interested in different things. And it doesn't only, I guess, stay when you're in the room with them. It kind of like lingers with you. You kind of soak in their knowledge throughout the day. And it does eventually influence your own art.
For me personally, I feel like I just generally work best alone. And especially when it comes to my art, I feel like I because I already don't think, I'm not an overthinker when it comes to my art. I pretty much just do it with no expectations for myself. And in that sense, I don't rely on external eyes. That's where you find your niche and people hear about you and they say, oh, look, these people are doing something I enjoy. I'm going to gravitate towards that. I think that's really, really productive, yeah.
Being in a room with, we're a band of 5 people. I don't think we could do it via online, even though there's like online platforms that kind of have low latency playing and stuff like that, but like it's not the same as being in the same room and being like, oh hey, can we try this? If you're running into a problem or running into a wall in your journey, basically, you can always ask people what they would do or what they have done in the situation.
Yeah, I mean everyone's at different sort of places, so people sometimes have advice for you, or sometimes you have advice for them.
Yeah.
In terms of what to do next. Well, you need money to do anything, you need money to like make a single or...
You need money to rehearse, like space.
Yeah, you need money to rehearse.
Rehearsal space.
To maintain your instruments.
Maintain instruments, you need
buy
money
equipment.
buy equipment. You
Rent
need
out venues. And you don't get paid a lot either for the work you actually do, so...
No, like most of the gigs we've got paid about as much as one would get for one person for a day's work at a relatively well-paid job.
Yeah, very much.
But there's 5 of us.
Yeah, we get about 20 quid each a night roughly on average.
Yeah, but then we also don't spend that money. We put it forward into like other music bits.
Yeah, I think a lot of bands just anything they earn, they just put into the band's
Yeah.
economy.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. I think I think I'd be sure in saying every artist has thought about money when it comes to creating their art and kind of being secure with it more than anything.
When your income becomes conditional on how much art you're putting out or the quality of art that you're putting out, it changes your relationship with art dramatically. I think the main dilemma is that everyone, especially the film industry, experiences, no matter what level they're at, is do we make something profitable or do we make something meaningful? And the hope is that those two things can connect, but you can never know for certain.
In contemporary times, artists may exhibit traits and lifestyle choices that are akin to those of early Bohemians. But at a time where community has turned into exclusivity and frugality into elitism amongst many of London's established artist circles, what can the city's up-and-coming artists tell us about Bohemianism? Do their lifestyles reflect a new form of the movement, one that may perhaps be classified as a revival?
Honestly, I didn't know the Bohemianism was still a thing that was happening. When I think of Bohemianism, I think of like 19th century poets and like artists and kind of, I think of the elite class. I feel like I've seen a lot of films that have definitely been influenced by that kind of approach to art. The first thing that comes to mind, weirdly, is Agnes Varda. I don't know why. I feel like her films kind of have that sense about them of like aimlessness.
I guess I know more about the classic Bohemianism, if that's what it's referred to in France. There really isn't in London any neighborhoods or anything like that anymore.
Yeah.
Like for example, Brick Lane down the road, it's just gentrified now. It's not, you'll see artsy people and people who look like they might make art, but either none of them live there or they just kind of go for the aesthetic of being there at the end of the day.
Even now, there's artist collectives or like people who either share a studio or work in a warehouse.
Yeah.
With like 16 other people, for example, like that is quite there.
The awareness of creative collectives and neighborhoods seems to vary amongst London's contemporary artists. This could be seen as a result of the high cost of living, pushing artists out of the city. However, despite this, artists seem to keep coming back to London nonetheless, and those that don't are still able to keep in touch with fellow artists from around the globe.
The kind of cost of living has pushed artists further away and more into the digital landscape to express themselves and talk with each other.
I've definitely encountered people online who are living that lifestyle in the countryside, and the way that they have that for themselves is because they have that online sphere that can be their space.
Yeah, I mean, I think location's not really what it used to be, because obviously you can transmit music from anywhere to anywhere now, so
Yeah.
I don't think there's necessarily the same need, but I think there's sort of like an atmosphere in London that is good for artists, if you know what I mean. I mean, just walk around Hackney Wick or Hackney or something like that, it kind of feels like a creative place, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I think that's what a lot of people who, I don't know, like only ever sort of spend time in London fail to realise that like London like is unlike anywhere else in this country, I'd say. I mean, there's not another city that like comes close to the sort of scope and the like density of London. So I think it's definitely unique in that way. And I think it's a good thing. It's
Like, it is very intense, not gonna lie.
yeah,
Like,
just the
it's
diversity
really
is
intense, but it's yeah.
Could the mere presence of artist neighborhoods in London, those such as Hackney Wick and Shoreditch, signal the importance of shared space amongst artists, or are they simply a dying breed, hidden amongst an ever-growing capitalist society? Nevertheless, Bohemianism perseveres amongst London's young artists, adapting and reshaping to suit contemporary standards whilst holding a tight grip on its sense of place within the city that is London.